Hello everyone and welcome to part 6 of this video series VMware vSphere 5.5. In this video I'm going to show you how to install configure vCenter Appliance 5.5 and then we'll be exploring VCA 5.5 configuration. Okay, back to our environment. In our current environment, what we have is a DC, VC, and ESXi, two ESXi hosts. On this server, I do have a vCenter already installed, which is a Windows-based vCenter. We can connect this to this vCenter through vSphere web client. Now, we'll leave this as in the part 5 of this training we'll be logged in. We did added these hosts within the vCenter. In this video we're going to be installing VCA. Now first of all, VCA is a vSphere vCenter appliance. It's a VMware vCenter Appliance 5.5. Now whenever it comes to an appliance is a combination of three files, which is OVF file, MF file, so it is OVF, MF, and VMDK files. These files can be downloaded easily. These files can be easily downloaded from VMware website. Now it's a ready-made appliance. Or they come in three files, or they can also be downloaded in one file, which is known as OVA. OVA stands for Open Virtualization Archive. Now this one file is a zipped file of all these three files. So in my computer I've already downloaded these files right here. I've already downloaded this one file, which is OVA file. Now if you have this file will be around 1.8 gigs. So we can install this appliance right in ESXi environment, VMware workstation environment, or ESXi environment. All you need to do is to open the OVA file. So I'm going to install it as a VM here. So you just go to File, Open, and then go to the location where you downloaded the appliance. This appliance can be easily downloaded from VMware website, evaluation version. I can import it. So I open the same file that I had right here. This file, it's an OVA file, Open Virtualization Archive, which has all three files, OVF, MF, and VMDK file. It takes few moments to import this file inside VMware Workstation. Now in this case I'm opening it inside VMware Workstation, so it will create a new VM with the name of vCenter Server Appliance 5.5. So I'll pause the video right here. Once it is done, then I'll continue recording the video. So it is imported. As soon as it is imported, it automatically comes as a VM inside VMware Workstation. It shows us that it needs 8 gigs of memory, two processors, 25 gigs of DC. Don't worry, this is all 10 provisioning. It's not taking anything for now from your computer. It only uses what it needs at the moment to power on. So let's start this machine. Guys, as soon as you start, it will start like this. Now since it is a ready-made install, it is not installing vCenter. vCenter is already inside. All you need to do is some initial configurations, and the initial configuration includes setting up IP address according to your environment so that you can access this vCenter from your other machines in order to manage ESXi environment. Now, since it is a Linux appliance, whereas the vCenter that we installed in part 5, actually part 4, that vCenter is a Windows vCenter. That vCenter is a full-fledged vCenter, and this is a Linux appliance. Now in vCenter appliance that comes with 5.5, it is now highly scalable, as it can have 100 hosts and 1000 machines, 1000 VMs in each, as compared to the previous version, which is vCenter appliance for version 5, can have only 10 hosts with each 100 VMs or so. So this in vCenter appliance 5.5 is greatly improved. Now, as you can see, it's a quick install. It is installing it. Now, as soon as it is installed, it automatically comes with this IP address. Now, this IP address is automatically taken from your from VMware network. First of all, we need to set this IP address according to our local network IP address. So my local network IP address is 192.168.100, whereas this one is taking 412 because it automatically took that IP address. Now we can set that IP address right from the screen here by logging in and running some commands, or the other way around is that we can connect to this IP address through this port from vCenter that already has two cards, one for the internet. This machine should be able to connect to this IP address. So I'm going to connect to this IP address 192.168.12.116 with 5880, and we need to remember it is HTTPS. So let's try connecting to this IP address. Open a new browser and https://192.168.12.16.5480. Let's just verify it is the same. The port is very, very important. Now if I try to connect to this, it is letting me connect to this IP address. Now it is very important for everyone to understand that I'm able to get to this IP address because I have two network cards, one for the local, the other one is bridged. Now since I have access to the internet, I do have this IP address range as well. If you're not able to connect to this IP address, the IP address provided here, then you might need to add another network card to your VC. Otherwise, you can configure the IP address right from here as well. Okay, so now we'll go here. The default username is root, and the password is VMware. The password is VMware, which is, just to show you, it is just VMware. This is the password, and you log in. As soon as you log in, it will give you the screen for initial configuration. We can press next here. It gives us this accept the terms and conditions. We can just cancel this out and do everything from here, but since it starts, let's configure everything using this wizard. Accepting EULA. Until I can close this. This is my vCenter for Windows that is being accessed, and this is now VMware vCenter server appliance can be a bit slower sometimes. Just enable data collection. Well, this is participating, it's up to you, you can add it or no. I'm not gonna choose here, just uncheck this. Here it is saying to configure a vCenter, you need a static IP address. You must first configure a host name. To do this, cancel this, go to the network settings and then do this. Yes, so I'll do this. Cancel this out. We'll go to network. We'll go to address. And within address, we'll change this to static. And then we'll provide it a name. So instead of localhost, we're gonna use a name that we, according to our naming convention, I'm gonna name it Canips VCA. Canips VCA. This is with vCenter Appliance. Gateway. Remember, this is a gateway, so I'm gonna change this according to my gateway. DNS is we're using DNS 10. 100.10, and now it's the static IP address. So I'm gonna choose an IP address that is one of the IP address that is not used in this environment. So in my case, it can be, let's say, 120. We can check that out if 120 is not in use by any other device. 192.168.100.120. Yes, it is not used by any other device. It's not used by any other device. So network mask. One thing to remember, once these settings are set, I'm gonna lose connection to this. Why? Because the IP address will be changed. So saving configuration, and this time now, since it is saving, sometime it comes back with answer requires manual reloading of web interface. So here I'm gonna open one more, and this time try to connect through new IP address. 192.168. Instead of this, 100.120 with the same port. Let's see, it connects. Now this one is definitely lost. Guys, you know what? It might be too soon for the other screen to be closed or to connect, because it takes some time. Now let's go back here. It is changed, so it is changed here, and so we didn't restart it, we didn't do anything, it was automatically changed. Let's try this one more time. 192.168.100.120, and try to connect to this IP address. 100.120 HTTPS 192.54.80. HTTPS 192.168.100. Now sometimes it is still trying to use, it might be trying to use the network card. So what I'll do, I'll try to use this link on it from a DC, because DC does not have a second, oh, it does have second network card. Let's try it one time. So it is HTTPS 100.120:480 5480 192.168.100. Now if this doesn't work, then we might need to restart this appliance. Let's just restart this once. They're not accessible. Let's see if they are pinging. Oh, one thing that we must check. So my local network is all on NAT. Internet is bridged. And let's see this. It has one network card. Oh, it is bridged. That's why it was not connecting. So the network card on this, it has only one network card that is unbridged. Need to change that to NAT so that it can work with my local network. So that is so there was no need to restart this machine. Now if I go, it should be able to connect. Should go through this network NAT, whereas this one is changed to NAT. Let's go to this. Let's see. So this one directly connects, and this one is still taking time. So we'll leave this as is for now. We'll connect from where it is able to connect. So you can try from both of them. Now it is able to connect from the local IP, and the password is VMware. As you can see, it requires some sort of troubleshooting when we are going through this. Now network is set already with the new address, with the new IP configuration, gateway and everything. System shows us you can reboot, shut down from here. Updates are not required at the moment. Upgrade. These are the accounts where you can create new password, change password. Now the most important place is this vCenter. Here server is already stopped, inventory system is stopped. What we can do, we should go and first of all set that database, and database should be set to embedded. It can connect to Oracle, or embedded mean internal database. Test settings, you don't need to use these other settings. And then within SSO, you need to provide the password for, again, embedded. I need to provide the password for the SSO account. With the SSO server, it already embedded SSO uses this account. Test configuration. So our SSO account is correct. Database is being configured. Time, no need for time for now. We're now connecting it to Active Directory. Service, storage, we'll leave everything as is. So for now, you need to, because as soon as you change, it was not saved. You need to save it and then move to the next one. So to load the schema version, test and save. The more I try to just have a smaller video, it takes at least 20 minutes. Now, and since these are important configuration, I'm not gonna pause. So this one is make sure it was successful. It is saved. Next, SSO configuration. Go back to DB. It should be saved as embedded. Here in SSO, again, we need to change it to embedded. Provide the SSO password. Test settings. It is successful, and save settings. Yes, it is completely installed any local users. Okay, good. So it is all done. So the three things we did were network, database, SSO, and then once it is saved, then we'll go into summary and make sure the services have started. And then after that we're gonna connect to VCA Appliance through a vSphere web client. So it's taking a few moments here. I'm gonna pause the video. As soon as it comes back, I'll start recording. Okay, so it took some time and now it is saved. SSO, the database, and within the summary, inventory service is running. All we need to do is to start the vCenter server. Now sometimes you would need to just close this down because this takes long time whenever you do SSO database. If it takes long time, then you can stop and you can close this page and reopen this for this IP address. Now once this is installed, the only thing that will be left to do is to connect to this vSphere through to this IP address of this. Since this is my vCenter, in order to connect to this, I'm gonna go to my VC where I have the web client. So this web client is directly connected to this vCenter that was vCenter, that is Windows based vCenter. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just delete all the way to this part and change the local host to the IP address of vCenter. If everything is configured properly, then you should be able to connect to vSphere Appliance. As we can see, now we are connecting to this second vCenter, the vCenter Appliance, through this IP address. As soon as it's a bit slow because it's a VM, excuse me, it's a bit slow as it's a VM, but we should be able to connect to this appliance. Here it is allow, and when it's asked for the username and password, we're going to connect it through SSO account. Same account, administrator at vsphere.local and password. Let's see. So now make sure that your IP address, this is the IP address of your vCenter. When we were previously connecting, we were connecting to the IP address localhost. Now since this is a completely new vCenter, we won't be able to see any host on this. There are no hosts. There is only one vCenter, which is itself, and which is VCA. There are no other hosts on this, so it's a brand new vCenter. So guys, in this video we have seen how to install and configure completely new vCenter appliance. So in this environment we have now two vCenter. One is vCenter Appliance, second one the vCenter, Windows based vCenter. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video.